I'm only speaking to benevolent beings. So, I've just spent about 3 to 4 hours in battle, pulling back all of my stuff, and working on extracting myself from the AI system and removing malevolent whores. Unfortunately, this is almost pretty much a everyday battle. And they shouldn't be here. So anyway, this recording, I'm going to try to focus on just a few points that I want to make light of. So first thing, if any of you benevolent beings have seen that old cartoon, I know the name of it, but I don't want to say the name because I don't want to have anything interfere with this recording on my channel. So I will just say, if you remember Snoopy and Woodstock, right, then you know the cartoon that I'm speaking of. Now, what I wanted to say about it is for those of you who are targeted with the voice to skull and remote neural monitoring, it might be helpful to think of the forced voices, whatever it is that they are, insane entities that have raped or stolen human vessels, if they're demons or parasites, however it is that you think about them. It's forced vomit, word vomit, that shouldn't be there. So it might be helpful to think of it in the example would be in that cartoon when the teacher was talking, how the little boy heard it, right? It was wah, 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 wah. Okay, so that example, if you take it and apply it to the forced word vomit, and even go as far as to think of it as a bot or a chatterbox that just it's programmed to vomit lies, cons, and deceptions. It isn't right, and what it's vomiting are lies, and it's malevolent, and it shouldn't be here, and it shouldn't be attached to you. So trying to think of it in those ways might help. One, to better defend and protect themselves and force that nastiness out, to better ignore it, to better disregard it. Okay, so that's one of the things that, one of the points I wanted to make light of. Now, this inverted time loop matrix, I refer to it as the fishbowl. It's like a little pond, but not really a pond. It's like a fucking marsh, or like it's a very dirty pond. I mean, I could get real descriptive. They still try to force their nasty. So I'll just say it's a really dirty fucking pond. and I refer to it as the fishbowl. So, how things operate in this place is inverted and backwards and wrong and fucked up. And it needs to be corrected, and it is not indicative of how the real universe operates. There are universal laws. And if you've, in your time here, if you've felt maybe in earlier years the real organic energetic field and the real field of the universe itself, it's a much different feeling. It's positive, and there's a benevolent feeling there. There's positivity there. There's possibility and expansion. And wonder, and all of those things in the real organic energetic field and the universal field. That's where those things are, which is just outside of this fishbowl of hell, I guess. This inverted, fucking nasty time loop matrix. And so also remembering that might help one to better navigate their way through it. Once again, remembering that they shouldn't be here, that this place is not how the real, this place isn't indicative of how the real universe operates, and that things can be different. The artificial frequency fence surrounding this place was installed a very long time ago, and has been used to obstruct universal laws and universal law correction here. And at this point, it's obviously there to assist parasites and demons and malevolent whores. They use it to obstruct universal laws and correction here. It shouldn't be there. There's no need to have a fence around a planet. There's not, as universal laws operate in a fashion that balances and corrects and removes malevolence, there would be no need to have a fence, any kind of a frequency fence around a planet. So if there is one around this place, around this planet, it means that there's, obviously it means that there's fuckery. And obstruction where there shouldn't be. So, it needs to be corrected. And up to this point, there hasn't been true benevolent intervention as of yet. But those things that have been forced on me for many years against the revocation of my consent, especially those things as of late, have basically shown through so those experiences that lead to or rather I should say the actions that they take and the actions that I take, and then the results from those show patterns. And as those patterns are shown, there are deductive conclusions that I have drawn from those. And noticing and observing the patterns, the conclusions that I have, over time been reaching are that some of the higher dimensions have been hijacked, and that there are many entities here and outside of here that are complicit, are guilty and participate in the raping of humanity, and who have been up to this point benefiting in some fashion off of the rape of humanity. And some of those are even groups that claim to be benevolent and are not. They will give just enough truth to do the hook. And then after that, it's a bunch of lies, cons, and deceit, confusion, contradiction, to try to keep beings in a circle jerk. It's a bunch of word vomit, lip smack. Like, it's lip service, right? It doesn't really, there's like enough truth to hook, but after that, it's, it takes you, the rest of it's not accurate. So they've been doing that for a long time, and it's because those groups are in places that they do not belong and have been using what they've raped from humanity to try and sustain their stay in those places. It should be humanity in those higher dimensions. Without all the interference and obstruction and fuckery, humanity could have been in those higher dimensions long ago. So, with so many entities here and outside of here being complicit and participatory, in the fuckery. And then there's always the question of, is there an entity running and operating this universe? Some kind of an awareness or intelligence. And those are used loosely and in quotes. Some kind of an energy running and operating in this universe, or is it just a huge place in where beings emerge? I've often contemplated that question, and I still, at this point, cannot say for certain. I would say, if there is one, it is psychotic and insane and parasitic. And if there isn't one, there's still the issue of the parasitic infection running amok with technology. So either way, humanity is still having to deal with a parasitic infection. Now, with so many entities here and outside of here that are complicit and participatory in the fuckery, in the rape of humanity, in all the violations of universal laws, in the obstruction of universal law correction here. I'll just say there's a lot of massive fear on that side of the table. And there has been extreme effort put into, from that side of the table, put into trying to obstruct humanity's evolution. Now, there's another part to that, or another point that I'd like to connect. That the artificial frequency fence, in the past, in prior timelines and civilizations that it was used, at some point, they come to a point where they turn it off. Turning it off is turning off all the artificial frequencies that allow the planet to heal, to be cleaned up, the things of that nature. So, almost like a reset of sorts. And in this timeline in civilization, it's the same in that they, at some point, have to turn off the fence. Now, in the past, what they've tried to do is get everybody into the AI system, or bring that civilization down to a point where they then, I'm going to use the word try. I'm sure you can read between the, read what I'm really saying there. They tried to do a reset. Now, in this timeline in civilization, with everything that they've been forcing, there's a lot of being screaming. There is. The massive fuckery and nastiness that they've been forcing on the civilization, I would almost say exceeds what they forced in Atlantis. with all the cloning, with all the technological torture, things like that. There's a lot of beings screaming. Now, a lot of beings holding the same vibration and frequency creates a resonance, right? So if there's a certain percentage of the population that's resonating a certain frequency and vibration, at some point there's a tipping point in where then all of a sudden it's the masses that are then resonating that same vibration frequency, because there's a tipping point to that. And there's a lot of beings screaming right now. And they're still trying to get beings into the AI system. And the more fuckery and harm that they force, it causes more beings to become aware and cognizant of what's being done here, what's being forced here, what this place is. So here's the thing. At some point, that fence must be turned off. Now, their problem is they risk not turning off the fence, and they also risk turning off the fence. Turning off the fence removes the artificial frequency overlay, and this planet is then fully exposed to universal laws. And obviously, then beings are fully exposed to the true organic field, which starts to then clear up confusion, mind fog. Obviously, the technological torture would stop, right? So they're trying to hold off on actually turning off the fence. Now, the other issue is if they continue to leave the fence on, the more beings that wake up, the more beings that become aware, because they're not stopping the fuckery. They're still continuing to force their nasty. So more beings are screaming. More beings are becoming aware and cognizant of what the fuck is going on here. And so at that point, the whole the percentage of beings resonating, vibrating a certain frequency starts to tip and cause even more beings to wake up and become aware. So not shutting it off, they risk triggering universal laws, because a whole planet full of beings who are screaming and who know what the fuck is going on here would most certainly be reaching loud enough to reach universal laws, and that would then trigger universal law correction, regardless of any kind of fucking frequency fence. Right? So they risk turning it off, and they risk turning it off, not turning it off. So back to the percentage, or all of the entities here and outside of here that are complicit and guilty and participatory in all of the forced harm here and all of the violations of universal laws. And their massive fear. Like, the point I'm trying to make here is it might be helpful in some fashion for benevolent beings to remember how much fear that side of the table is in, and that fence must be shut off or they risk triggering universal laws. Well, either way, they're either going to trigger universal laws or the fence is going to be shut off. So it might be helpful for benevolent beings to remember that and to be cognizant of the amount of entities here and outside of here that are complicit. And in massive fear. Because those entities would obviously cannot withstand being exposed to universal laws. With all, with all of their violations of universal laws, even with clones, they're still fully exposed once the fence is shut off or universal laws is triggered. So they're in fear and they're frenzied, and yet the more fuckery they try to force, and the more harm they try to forces more beings to fucking wake up and fucking be realizing and recognizing and cognizant of what the fuck's going on here. So at some point, there's going to be a climactic event. There will. It's just, it's a matter of timing. And either way, this place being fully exposed to universal laws, the beings on this planet will see things that they have never seen before at a speed they do not recognize. So, if you are one who is targeted and, it might be helpful to remember those things to help you and support you better protect and defend yourself and navigate through the muck and the mire of this fucking fishbowl. There's a lot of entities that are going to go down. And especially any entity that's supposedly running and operating this universe. A benevolent being might be able to see the massive fear of any entity running and operating, or supposedly running and operating, a universe that's this parasitic and out of balance and psychotic. And in prior recordings, I've spoken of a universe implosion. And at the very least, a galaxy imploding due to the massive imbalance and contradiction. Because of the malevolent entities forced obstruction of universal laws and universal law correction, as well as the forced, up to this point, consistent regression of humanity over many timelines and civilizations. It might be hard to fathom, but if there is an entity or some kind of an energy operating or running this universe, he's getting fired. That's for fucking sure. Fired permanently. Going bye-byes. Not going to be here anymore. So in that instance, is it just the entity that goes bye-bye, or is it the whole entire universe that implodes? Now, the other thing is, once universal laws are fully enforced here, just a moment. At that point is when you see things that you've never seen before at a speed you do not recognize. So depending on how far the corruption has spread, how far the parasitic infection has gone, I think will determine the magnitude of correction. Is it just within this star system? Is it just within this galaxy? Will it affect the entire universe? So those are questions that I ask regularly to myself and contemplate because all of this horrificness must be corrected. It must be. The amount of imbalance is fucking staggering. And I'm sure that they have to, like, I can kind of see or can feel the lengths that they have to go to try and stabilize because of the amount of imbalance. That is also why they do a lot of, or have tried to do a lot of raping of higher frequencies and vibrations to then push those through the fence, somewhat in a drip by drip fashion, trying to stave off the triggering of universal laws. Correction here. Because the balance is gone. It is. They're playing basically they're gambling, and they don't have any fucking money, and they keep trying to borrow from the house, and it's getting to a point where that isn't working because it's causing other problems. So that's kind of where that's at. So those things might be helpful for benevolent beings to remember. And make things less daunting moving forward. And just a moment, I'm trying to recall if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Hopefully, benevolent beings are working on strengthening their astral body connection to their physical body and chakra system. And working with your astral body as much as possible. Really feeling it. And trying to working on working with your own energy in different ways to better protect and defend yourself. Your astral body extends just a few inches out from your physical body and is connected to your chakra system. Your astral body houses some very inherent, important parts of your being. So it's imperative to work on always having your astral body in mind and being in constant connection with it, meaning your attention is focused on it in some part of your mind at all times. That way you can also be aware of any entities that are trying to access your being, or trying to harm you, or trying to siphon or rape something from you. I've described it as like a protective shield or field that surrounds your physical body, that can move independently of your physical body or with your physical body. So it extends just a few inches out from your physical body, and it's helpful to try and feel it, feel the energy around you, to experiment and play with your astral body's energy, so that you can better, feel it and work with it and know more of your being. And, sit and, for example, hold out your arms. So as you're trying to feel your astral body, feel the energy of your astral body move with your arms, and then hold your arms out, and then try and feel your astral body moving independently of your arms. That's an exercise one could try to better feel their own astral body. Feel the energy of it, try and begin to work with it. And, that's also a way to better know yourselves, and connect with other inherent parts of your being. And, figure out ways to better work with your astral body so you can better protect and defend yourself. I am one who does not advocate astral projection. I think that all was introduced to try and get beings to willingly detach or be out of their astral body. That's what I think all that was about, because they try to use the astral bodies to rape and siphon from humans all kinds of things without their knowledge and consent, which is wrong and must be corrected. And they have made astral projection sound so exciting, and awesome and all of that. They've made it sound like that. They just don't tell you why it is that they're putting it all out there, right? They don't give you or tell you the underlying reasons and intentions of why they put all that out there. Once again, it's omission in lies, cons, and deceit. Trying to con beings into doing something willingly without revealing true intent. So it really is up to the being to know themselves well. And to really think about what it is that that they're that the being wants to do. Think about why. Think of something that you want to do, and then think about why you want to do it, and what your intention is with doing it, and your the things that you're hoping to gain or attain from doing those things. So it's important to know yourselves well and to know what is it you're doing and why you're doing it, what your intention is. That way you can better navigate their fuckery and their lies, cons, and deceit. Like if they're, at this point, you should know if they're putting something out there, your first question is, what's wrong with it? Right? Where's the lie, the con, or the deceit? What is it that they're trying to distract you from? Right? Look, something shiny in this hand, but what's the other hand doing? Right? Like at this point, you should know that's how these bitches operate. Ooh, look, something shiny. Right? They use that to distract and confuse and all of that, while the other hand's doing some very fucked up, horrific shit. So, just saying. Make sure your awareness is on point. Always know what's going on with your astral body. There are some very inherent, important parts of your being that are housed within the astral body. So you should definitely know what's going on with your astral body. Are there entities attached to you? Are there clones attached to you? Are there entities hooked into your chakra system? Are there entities trying to siphon and rape from you via your astral body? Like, these are things that they, for the most part, did not encourage. As far as learning goes, there are some like New Age things that encourage that, but then the New Age is full, the New Age stuff, spiritual stuff is full of lies. So they've really tried to keep that knowledge hidden. So it's really up to the individual being to take the initiative to want to know themselves better and to try and evolve themselves and try and raise their own frequency and vibration and activate their own gifts, skills, and abilities. Right? It's more so just up to the individual being at this point to be taking the initiative to do those things and to learn about those things and themselves. So, yeah, just definitely do the best that you can to work with your astral body and strengthen that connection to your physical body and your chakra system. And to better know yourselves. That's only going to help you moving forward and in the long run. So I'll go ahead and try to wrap this up. Stay strong. Know that you are a powerful being. Have trust and faith and confidence in your own being, in your knowledge and your wisdom, in your strengths, in your skills and abilities. Know that you are capable of amazing things, and you are capable of being in command of the totality of your being. And working properly with your power, or I'll say it, working with your power properly, working from honor and integrity, and know that you are a strong being. And know that you can protect and defend yourself. Now, I realize that these whores try to go against refusal of consent. However, refusal of consent does stand in the presence of universal laws. Override their bullshit. Run over their bullshit. Know that you know the truth of things. Know that they are completely in the wrong. Know that they are in violation of all universal laws. Know that they do not fucking belong here. Know that they are in massive fear. Know that in the full presence of universal laws, they're going to burn where they stand. And then continue to take back, pull back what you think has been raped from you daily. Unfortunately, it does have to be daily at this point. And that you're going to pull back your own stuff no matter what. Because it's yours. Because they don't have fucking consent. And they shouldn't even be attached to you. And you're going to be in command of the totality of your being, and you're just going to fucking regulate. That you're going to do whatever it is that you need to fucking do to protect and defend yourself. And they're parasites, and that they just got to go bye-byes. They got to go nighty-nights. It's time to go. It's time for them to be removed from manifested creation. All right. So, stay strong and stay aware. Okay, till next time.